Top 10 PLEs of 2026. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that list is going to be included. Every wrestling, this list will include WWE and AEW. I almost said every promotion. I don't watch AAA or TNA. You know, I watch the big two. I see clips of the other ones. The way I'm ranking this is really just off my favorite. So this is my favorite top 10. I'm not ranking it like my superstar video. This is completely opinionated, not just what is definitively the best one. Getting my personal take on my favorite thing. If you want more of that stuff like that, you know, subscribe, like the video. Coming in number 10, we have WWE Backlash. You know, it was a cool little PLE, you know, right after WrestleMania. I enjoyed it. There was Seth versus Braun, which I really liked. There was that Seth botch that everyone was complaining about when it wasn't even his fault. It was calling Seth Wash. People are so quick to jump on a hate train, and if they just take 2 seconds to analyze the clip, it was Sammy, which was just the rematch from WrestleMania. This was just to confirm 2 things. One, that Trick is the champion, and this is the guy they're going to push moving forward. And then we got the other thing, which was confirming that Sammy is a heel, and Sammy's a heel. That was it. It was kind of funny. But Biz and Kit Wilson versus Danhausen and Minniehausen. And then we got back to some great wrestling. Io Sky versus Asuka. Finally, we got this match. It could have been so much better if we did not release Kairi Sane like a couple weeks before this match happened, because like everyone wanted the Kairi face turn. Everyone wanted it, but we couldn't get it. She was just stuck, like never evolving. She was just kept getting pushed down and down by Asuka. Every Io Sky match is gonna be awesome. You pair it with Asuka, who's also has amazing matches every night. So yeah. And then finally, Roman versus Jacob. You don't understand like the momentum Jacob Fatu had before this match happened, and even after he lost, and he kept the momentum. Like people were still behind him, even though he lost to Roman Reigns. But Roman won. He basically cheated. Like he ripped the turnbuckle pad off, threw him into it, and while he was stunned, he speared him 1, 2, 3. But Jacob was on his ass. Like I actually thought Roman was dead. I thought he was done for. That's the most danger I've seen Roman in since Cody, for real. Coming in at number 9, we have WWE Night of Champions. This really came at a point in time where WWE was like kind of, you know, falling down a little bit. Crowd was really hot for this, so I'll give the bonus credit there. Men's, women's, it don't matter, and it was in Saudi Arabia, yeah. So they had a history of just being bad. They're hot this whole time. They were so hot that they were early for the Oba chance, and they kept doing it. Like normally, there was a point where, like once Oba gets down the ramp, every other crowd will like stop chanting, but they chanted the entire time up until Oba did the pose. Like that's aura. Speaking of Oba versus Jay, Jay actually gave Oba for me one of his longest matches since joining the main roster, which is kind of crazy. I had to do something, make it longer than 5 minutes. Yeah, my match tonight was Seth versus Braun in the steel cage, because that was amazing. I think Braun probably shouldn't be losing that match. Seth winning, you know, Seth is one of my favorites ever, so I didn't really care who won. I love them both. Trick versus Ricky, you know, that was good. Put Ricky on the map. First PLE match, good. TV versus Jade, pretty mid, I'm not gonna lie. And then Sammy versus Gunther versus Cody for the title was actually a sleeper good match. Like I was expecting, like I don't know what I was expecting going into the match, to be honest. It's Gunther, Cody, and Sammy. I should have expected this match to be good, and it was. And I really like the finish. I like that, but they made Sammy win. Unfortunately, he only had it for a week. It's still a good match, and the crowd loved it. Like they really just put the title on him so they could get the pop in Saudi, and finally say that he is a Grand Slam champion. He's won the world title, which was cool. So coming in at number 8, we have NXT Then Deliver. Yes, NXT counts because it's my list. I do what I want. So yeah, I really like that show because I NXT the 2025 to 2026, like early 2026 run was so freaking good. That's where all our big stars were. All of the big stars, Tatum Paxley, all of them were on that show, and a lot of our favorites all had good matches. Some notable matches, we had the Sol Ruka versus Arya. Um, Arya had finally turned heel after teasing it for months, and we got what we wanted. I'm mad that she lost that match, but she did get back. And then there was, bro, the return of Johnny Wrestling. I wasn't watching. I'm gonna be for real. A bit of a larper right there. I wasn't watching when Johnny was in his prime wrestling at WWE. However, I relived it through clips and rewatching old matches. Like I watched one of his takeovers against Adam Cole. I don't know which one. I watched that. It was peak. And then so seeing him today having singles matches after being gone for so long, I loved it. And then, Miles, I would say Miles is one of my favorites currently on NXT. And he's always putting in work on his matches. So that was great. In both championship matches, the women's triple threat, which was really good. I spoke about that in the past. Kendall Gray versus Ola Vice versus Jacy Jane for the NXT title. Mwah. And then we had for the men's NXT title, it was Tony D versus Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page versus Joe Hendry, who was champion. Tony D ended up winning that after he finally returned and came back with his new character. It was really cool, and that was the last time I got to see Ricky Saints and Ethan Page together, which I've grown very fond of. Yeah, Stand and Deliver. They had great matches. Everyone who got on the PLE deserved to be there, and they were. It was perfect to me. And number 7, we have WWE Elimination Chamber. I'll come out and say it. Women's Chamber was better than the Men's Chamber. My only complaint with the Women's Chamber for real is why was Alexa Bliss just thrown in the trash? I mean, I get it. It's like, oh yeah, Kiana pinned her. But ew. I mean, Alexa Bliss has been washed since she returned. Not character wise. I mean, in ring wise. She hasn't done anything crazy. They popped for the Sister Abigail, but that's just because it's Sister Abigail. I don't know. I wish she was able to do more in the match. But besides that, I'm talking about they had Raquel power slam Asuka and Kiana on top of each other through the cage or the shark cage. Yeah, that was sick. And then we had the finish. Rhea, Tiffany's going for the prettiest moonsault. Rhea just throws her into the cage. Her lips busted open. Riptide. 1, 2, 3. Boom. That's the match. I love that. We had AJ versus Becky. AJ's her first title match at Appeal. We were scared because we know that everybody has the hometown hero lose a lot, and it's technically AJ's hometown. She lives there. We were scared that one of them was going to lose, and we thought it was going to be AJ, but she won. Punk versus Finn, banger. I love Finn Balor. I love the way he wrestles, and Finn actually worked super good with CM Punk. They just put on a good show. I mean, we knew Finn was going to lose. They just put on a good match, and that's really all I care for. And the main chamber rushed is what I want to say. It was still good. We hate Logan Paul for what he did to Javon and LA Knight, but it was still cool. It was cool. I wish we got more. The reason we were so excited for Javon Evans being in the chamber was just how the insane stuff he's gonna do off the shark cages or off the wall or whatever. He bouncy. They didn't even let him be bouncy for real. He had one cool spot, and then he got eliminated. And then they had a good winner, Randy Orton. It's always safe for Randy. RKO for Cody on the direct distraction by Drew McIntyre. 1, 2, 3, bang. So I turned off the show happy until I found out Cody was gonna take the title off Drew, and I went sad. But almost forgot the Seth return. Seth returned from that long injury, that long hiatus. He returned with the masked men, and he stomped Logan Paul out. Danhausen was here in the show too. No, they did a lot. So I guess props to them, props to the show. All right, number 6, our first AEW show on the list, AEW Dynasty, baby. Well, where do I start? I wish I had the match card in front of me. I have like little notes. Uh, I know it was a Young Bucks match. I'm pretty sure it was Young Bucks versus Takeshita and Okada. That match was great. Like the insane stuff. Like Young Bucks. Every time I watch a Young Bucks match, they always show me something crazy that I've never seen a tag team do ever. And like they just have such a great style of wrestling. And then Takeshita and Okada would, it's like they cloned them and just started doing the most other insane stuff. It looked like they're trying to one up each other at the same time. And then I remember this one part of the match where they both got put in the sharpshooters, and then Takeshita and Okada looking at each other, like smacking each other, like, don't tap out, so they wouldn't lose. That was great. And Takeshita and Okada were literally trying to run up each other because they didn't like each other, and they were like, it was sort of, they were trying to do like a Don Callis family bonding exercise, but putting them in this match. I don't think that worked out too well. But dude, one of the best opening matches of a PLE I've ever seen. I was starstruck. Like the amount of kickouts, near falls, it didn't make sense to me. But I knew I was watching some heat. Another highlight was the Casino Gauntlet match for the vacant TNT Championship. We had my boy Kevin Knight win it. I was so happy because before he turned heel, before the money went to his head, the power got to his head, and he joined the nasty Don Callis family. Man, I was such a big Kevin Knight fan. I still am. It's just the Don Callis family makes him lose about 50% aura. But that match, loved it. It was the first time seeing a gauntlet match where it's not like WWE's gauntlets where they come in, get eliminated, next person come in. It's like you have a certain like amount of competitors, and they all just come in one at a time. It's like sort of like a rumble, but whoever gets the first pin becomes champion. That was tough. I love that. And then Kevin Knight, like Daniel, I believe it was Daniel and Speedball in the ring, and Daniel was about to pin Speedball, but Kevin comes out of nowhere with a UFO splash, 1, 2, 3, and he picks up the title. Like I was so happy. I was not expecting him to win out of all people. I think I want to talk about Moxley versus Ospreay. Ospreay had come back from that neck injury. Or he thought, and he goes up against Moxley for the Continental Championship. My God, I thought he was gonna die. How did you get hit with a pile driver? Not just one pile driver. I think it was like multiple pile drivers, multiple DDTs on a steel step. I was terrified, dude. I actually thought he was gonna die. I thought he was gonna walk in this match and just win because Moxley was holding on to the Continental Championship tight. He was just carrying it throughout the PLE, posting through. Moxley's a freaking monster. He almost killed Ospreay, almost re-injured Ospreay just to prove a point. It's been sick. And then the great MJF versus Kenny Omega, the Devil versus the Angel. I loved that match, dude. Oh my God. MJF is the only person to ever kick out of a one-ring angel. It was just like a 17 count, but he kicked out. But dude, Kenny, best bout machine, and MJF is so good in the ring too. So put them two together, of course you're gonna get. It's like putting chocolate with peanut butter, and then you get Reese's. That's what they did. It's like you put one goat with another goat, and you make a brand new goat. What the frick I'm talking about. Coming in number 5, we have SummerSlam, specifically Night 2. Because the GOAT KO came back for that Fatal 4-Way against Sammy Gunther and Finn. You know, I went into that match. I'm like, dude, Finn's gonna win, probably, and then he'll be number contender again. I'm like, this is good. Balor stocks are up because you know we Balor fans, we need any win we can get. But then I heard Gunther's music hit, and I'm like, oh, why? And then Chaos music hit, and I'm like, woo! Insert most critical clip. Oh man, and then it was really honestly pretty short for a fatal four way, but it felt like such a natural conclusion still, even though it was only like a 9 minute match. It was great. It felt like they had enough time for everyone to hit their finishers, everyone to have like their own moment in the ring, where they're strong, they're powerful, and then Kevin Owens just comes in, hits every single one of them with a stunner, and then one last stunner to Sami Zayn. 1, 2, 3, no more contender. Like I loved it. I loved it. Then the women's ladder match, dude. Let me just say, one, everyone in a ladder match showed out with with their gear, their entrances, their stuff, their moments with the ladders. Like they were not playing with the ladders, dude. That's the only weapon that they used. Charlotte got thrown into a ladder face first. Uh, Tiffany got like choke slammed onto the ladder while it was propped up. It was nasty, nasty work. And then they gave us that hope spot where we thought Chelsea was going to lose, and we got so depressed because she got beat up by freaking baddies. And everyone's back up climbing ladders, and then Chelsea's just laying there dead at the bottom of the ladder. But she wakes up, climbs to the top, new champ. Loved it, dude. Loved it, loved it. It was a cool moment to finally see Chelsea climb to the top of being world champ, especially after Michael Hayes said she's an enhancement talent and she would never be world champ. Look at that. After you got fired, loser. Okay, and here's the weak point. You guys are probably like, why the freak is Night 2 up here when this match exists? The Danhausen Dom Muddy on a Pole match. Me and my friends are watching this, we dang near wanted to skip it because why is this match on a Pigly? And why is Dominic losing? What? Dominic lost? The AAA Mega Champion just lost to that little hobgoblin right there. And the match wasn't even anything crazy. It was rather short, which thank God. AD was there and got his moment to shine, but still. He's beating up Minihausen. He's beating up people that are like 2 feet tall. Let's lock in. And lock in they did. Because we got Chad versus Penta for the IC title. Banger. Chad won his whole town. His family got to celebrate with him. Fire. And then right after the main event, Seth versus Roman.
Ah, chills. Literal chills.
Everything from that match. Their entrances, to the in-ring, to the brawl on the outside, to the finish. I just love that match, dude. And like I'm a big Seth fan. I said that earlier. I'm a Roman fan too. And when that match ended, and they did the shield fist in the middle, I was just like, damn, dude. Like that match actually had me thinking, like, dude, they're getting old. They're probably not gonna be able to do this again. Like it literally was their last dance. Seth versus Roman, we're never getting that again. So that's done. The shield's done. I love the shield. So it's like, dude, Seth might be out of here sooner than we think. Man, match got me existential and stuff. And also, SummerSlam had a great stage and crowd. Crowd was hot the entire time, but the stage was sick. I'll get a picture of it. Sick. Now number 4, we got AEW Revolution, first AWP PLE of the year. I thought the first PLE of the year was Grand Slam Australia, but that was a TV special. So, I know we're only at number 4, but that would be an honorable mention because it's not really a PLE. It felt like one, but it wasn't. Young Bucks versus FTR. If you want a crowd to get hot, just put the Young Bucks in front of them, and there you go. They're on fire. Versus FTR, who were got all the heat in the world during that time. Recipe for perfection. Almost said disaster, and I was really shocked. They had Young Bucks family sitting front row. I was like, oh, Young Bucks are winning. Let's go. Bro, they were busted open bleeding and they lost in front of their kids. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, who's gonna beat them then? If the Young Bucks lost. Who's gonna beat them? Show of hands, who misses Tony Storm? Because we had Tony Storm versus Marina Shafir. Uh, everyone banned from ringside. That's the last match we saw of Tony Storm before she got, I guess, killed backstage. Another John Moxley defense. This time versus Takeshita. Time limit. They they had a match on Dynamite and they went to time limit. Takeshita had the upper hand. They were like, oh my gosh, Takeshita, he's gonna be able to do it. He's gonna beat Moxley, and he didn't. Because for some reason Moxley has to kill everyone he's in the ring with. I think Takeshita was like the least brutal one, but like all those other matches, like the one he just had with when he just had with Jack Perry, he brutalized that man on live television. I don't know how that's even considered a match. A lot of stuff happened on PLE. There was like 8 matches, I want to say, on the main show. Not forgetting the pre-show that had like 3 matches. We had Mystico and Jet Speed, who were the trios champions at the time, beat the Dogs. Well, I was sick. We had Andrade versus Bandito. I think it was just a random match. Same thing except for Io Sky. Any match involving Darby Allin is peak. So we had a random trios match. It was a collaboration. Darby, Orange, and Roderick versus the Dogs. Remember when Clark Connors kidnapped Darby Allin, had him in the back of a truck and flipped the truck over? And he survived? AEW is insane. Darby is insane. I love Darby. And then I saw my first Texas death match, MJF versus Adam Page, and I love that. I love that match. It was brutal. It was crazy. And it was like my first, for real, like championship. It was my first AEW PLE, period. So, and part of the reason why I wanted to go and watch AEW was because people like MJF and Darby. And MJF was champion. He had just won it in December. So, man, oh man, that match was awesome, dude. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it was literally a death match. They brought out every single weapon you could think of. They shattered glass in the ring. They got thrown onto glass, dragged through it. There were chains. And there was a cool scene in the finish where MJF, man, what did he do? He hit him with some move, and there's just blood on Adam Page's head. His head smacked into the camera, and then there was just blood on the screen for the rest of that match. It was so sick. All right, number 3, we got WrestleMania 42 Night 2. Now, say what you will about WrestleMania, Night 1 was pretty ass, but Night 2 carries it, and that's why it's here. We had the Oba versus Brock Lesnar match. We all thought he was retiring for real, but of course he just comes back a month later. But the match itself, every Brock Lesnar match is super short, but when Oba got him up for that fall from grace, he lands it clean, and then it's just 3. Like, I dang near jumped out my seat when I saw that happen. I was so happy. And then he takes his boots off. I'm like, he's retiring out of nowhere. It wasn't even advertised. That's what made it so cool. And then right after this, we had the 6-man ladder match. Penta defending his IC title against, let me see if I can name them all without looking it up. Against JD McDonough, Javon Evans, Rusev, Rey Mysterio. There's one more person. Dragon Lee. There we go. That match was awesome. Like, with the women's ladder match at SummerSlam, how they weren't playing with those ladders and they were just going crazy with them. They were doing the same thing in that match, but like times 100. we had Javon on the turnbuckle, Rusev climbing the ladder. He turns around and eats the nastiest OG cutter across the ring. It was almost like freaking coast to coast. I think he could do that if he wanted to. He hit a coast to coast. And then there was like another part of the match where there was a ladder wedge between another ladder that was set up in the middle and the ropes. And then JD and Penta are on the ladder, and he hits a Mexican destroyer onto the ladder. Like, dude, it was so sick. Like, everyone had this moment to shine too. I think it was Mysterio and Rusev who had like their little scuffle on the outside before one of them went through the announce table. Like I just loved it. I'm a sucker for big spots, crazy stop spots, and that match was full of it. And Penta retained, good winner, honestly. I feel like anybody could have won that match, and I would have been happy. Oh, have we had, bro, the return of the Demon Finn Balor? It would have been just a little bit better if they made it a surprise, but at this point, beggars can't be choosers. Finn Balor was on WrestleMania in a street fight as the Demon. What more do you want? The entrance was fire. The finish was fire. Jay versus Rhea, honestly, an underrated match. Like they both had great entrances. They both had great chemistry with each other. I think I like this match the most compared to their Clash in Paris, not Paris, Clash in Italy match. And they both were going for their finishers. It was sick because Jade had her up for the Jaded. She just slips through, picks the arm, got it trapped, and then does the pump handle into the Riptide. It was sick. Rowan versus Punk, match of the night potential. Or match, no, it was match of the night. Match of the year potential. We also didn't know who was gonna go down first. Like they both had resiliency and they used it twice, and it was sick. It was just sick. All that being said, that's number three. Number one and number two, very tough. But I'm gonna say number two is AEW Double or Nothing. Coping Cage versus FTR I Quit match was insane. They brought out like a bat with nails in it or something. It was insane. Coping Cage won. Takeshita versus Okada was insanely good. And we were all behind Takeshita to finally win because he just left Dunka's family. And every time someone leaves, they become a goat. Takeshita was one of them. And when he finally hit the power drive knee on Okada, the raging fire, 1, 2, 3, like dude, loved it. Moxie versus O'Reilly. Moxie was in danger. He almost tapped out to that ankle lock. It was, it was insane. But like I said earlier, Moxley has to kill whoever's in the ring with, and he dang near decapitated O'Reilly. Then Stadium Stampede. Stadium Stampede. I don't even know how to describe that match. It was just so. It's something they've never seen before. Like it's a match, but like it's really just a big brawl. But they take over the entire stadium. It's like the cinematic matches that we had in the pandemic era of 2020s. It's like that, but cranked to 100, and it's live. They literally started in the ring and then they worked their way around the stadium to do like their own spots. They're fighting like in like the shop section, like where they sell the merch and stuff, on the escalators, fighting in the back, fighting outside. It was it was just pure chaos. And I think if you have not watched it yourself, please go treat yourself and watch that match. And then another one of my favorite matches, my two goats, MJF and Darby Allin. It was a title versus hair match. If MJF lost, he had to cut his hair off, and he could never challenge Darby as long as he was champion. Climb the jumbotron and hit him with a swanton from on top of it, while he was like on a table that was set up right there. Yeah, that's the table where they had the razor and chair set up. If MJF lost, he didn't lose, which was a good decision. This is like the crescendo, the finale to Darby's title run. It was 8 weeks long, 9 weeks long, something like that. He defended it every single week, and it was all fantastic. And then just was another fantastic match. And I think in the history books, this PLE will go down as one of the best. Not even just this year, like maybe of this decade. And I mean, all the praise that I gave Double or Nothing, take that and do the same thing for this next match, the next PLE. Because number one is AEW Forbidden Door. I could really just put the last three matches of this PLE, and that would be a PLE by itself, and it would still be amazing. It would still be top five because we had the Maya Will versus Tasha Banks. I call her Tasha Banks. Mercedes Monet for the Owen Hart final. Um, Maya, she was like it was almost like a Kofi Mania type beat where she wasn't supposed to be in the tournament. She was a last minute replacement, and then she made it all the way to the finals and first faced one of the biggest opponents of her, probably the biggest opponent of her career, Mercedes Moné, and they put on a banger. The Death Door match, I believe was 5 versus 5 in that cage. I've never seen a match like it. It was so cool, and the the team that they went with, the DCMJF, it was all the biggest villains versus this like almost ragtag sort of group where it's like like they sort of have to come up with inventions and stuff, and they're all this gear and all that to take on these bad guys, and they won. It was so cool, and it was all for Mark Briscoe to finally get his championship match against MJF, and everyone involved in that match was really cool, and they gave them all their own spots. Uh, Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher had like their one on one. Oh yeah, the stuff that Orange Cassidy brought in the match. They all walked in carrying duffel bags. When it's like, oh, it's kind of part of the entrance. The conglomeration always has backpacks on them, but they brought it into the ring, and they just, bro. He had an old, I think it was a Nintendo 64 or something. He brought a freaking console, banged it over Fletcher's head. The controllers, those big brick controllers, he just threw one at him. I don't know like why do you have that in his bag? And there's another part. Darby, instead of walking in normally, he climbs to the top of the cage, and we're like, oh yeah, there's Darby doing Darby stuff. And then while Kevin Knight climbs up there, he set a booby trap and it blows up in his face. That was awesome. And then one of Cassidy's bags that he pulls out from under the ring, Leo Rush was in there, and he just goes crazy, eliminating crazy, like doing crazy stuff to everyone. It was just so fun. It was so fun. And then Osprey versus Swerve, Owen Hart final. First of all, their entrances. Dog, Osprey came out with the Bane mask. He had just finally like fully recovered from his neck injury after the Death Riders training. And then Swerve came out looking like Lobo. He had the bike and dress and the cigar. Like, oh my gosh. He came out with the chains wrapped around him. Then the chemistry that they had was awesome. Like they told us the story that they're a longtime friend, and it showed in that match because they had insane chemistry. For a minute there, I thought they were doing too much with the blood because it was like kind of early on in the match, and Will got busted open pretty easily, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want them to like. I don't want them to do this thing where it's like, oh, the babyface gets busted open, and then the heel just beats him up the entire match, and then he gets a random just hulked up moment, and then he beats him. But that's not what happened. They were still evenly matched most of the match, and they both were just doing insane moves the entire time. It went on a little long, but there was this moment where they were both like on opposite ends of the ring, both bleeding, both tired, and then they charge up to like run at each other, and they both Swerve probably goes for his house call, and he goes for hidden blade. Osprey hits him with the hidden blade. He like flips over, and then he hits him with the Stormbreaker. I feel like that should have been the ending. That should have been because Swerve kicking out of that low key. It took a little bit away from how epic that scene was because the scene after wasn't as cool. Like, yeah, the Death Riders came out to hype up Osprey, but they could have just ended the match and have the Death Riders come out after. Like, it wasn't too crazy because all that happened after that was Osprey hitting 3 finishers back to back, and he pulled back out the Tiger Driver, I think it's called, that he swore to never use, but he had to use it to put away Swerve. Which I guess, it's like saying the Death Rider's teaching, you have to be brutal, you have to finish the job. So that's that. I get it, but like I feel like the ending that you had before that was just so much better. But let me start nitpicking. The PLE was great. And I only talked about 3 matches that entire time. There was more. We had Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. Pure grabs. It was straight technical wrestling. It was then like a mat wrestling match almost. In the weeks leading up to this match, I wasn't completely sold on Zack Sabre Jr. I was just like, oh, it's just some guy. I need to see something. Like they just said, he's one of the greatest wrestlers, yada yada, whatever. I had to see it, and I saw it, and I haven't. That's my top 10 favorite PLEs of 2026. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments, and what video should I do next? Because I could do my favorite superstars ever and make that a list because that changed in the past year. Just let me know. But I must bid you adieu, goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang.